Welcome back, guys. I trust you've been staying safe. Now, today's true crime story is about a lady whom some have tagged and classified as the worst mayor in the United States of America's history, while some have also tagged her a super mayor. Now, this lady is currently facing 2 federal investigations based on her spending habits. But then, that is not all. But I'm sure you may be wondering, who is this lady, as beautiful as she is, right? Yeah. So, she's the Dolton mayor by name Tiffany Henyard. And she's going through a whole lot. Now, since taking office as mayor of Dolton, Illinois in 2021, Tiffany Henyard has had nothing short of a hectic term due to several legal allegations that have been leveled against her. Now, she proclaims herself to be a super mayor, and she does this, or she claims this, by trumpeting the fact that she works very hard to mend the community's housing crisis and also secure American Rescue Plan Act funds for the senior citizens and military veterans, as well as spearheading the construction of new developments to add more recreational gathering spaces for the community. So she classifies herself as a super mayor based on the good work that she sees herself to be doing. But then, despite all her good service in quotes, the feds are investigating a series of allegations that she has a very, very nasty spending problem, but not with her own money, but rather with the taxpayers' money. And this is where it gets tricky. Honestly, when I came by this case, I was surprised. Well, she's still innocent until proven guilty, I need to mention, yeah. But when I came upon this case, I was surprised by the allegations, especially on the bit about her having a nasty spending problem, but not with her own money, but rather with taxpayers' dollars. And I felt that this should become a thing of the past. I was expecting it's actually a thing of the past in the US. Maybe in some parts of Africa, you may have some of these things happening from some politicians, but I feel that the US as a country is far advanced to have some things like this happening. So no wonder the feds are on it, and rightly so. Now, on top of a recent lawsuit from a previous employee, Miss Mayor, or the West Mayor, or the Super Mayor, as she calls herself, is also now being labeled and charged as having wrongfully terminated her employee because he refused to aid her in her alleged political schemes. Now, Mayor Henyard's reputation is being smacked left and right by claims of corruption. But as is expected, she would also deny most of it, if not all. And she's claiming that she's got receipts to prove the facts over the fiction that people are peddling. Now, in case you are wondering, there are actually 15 allegations leveled against Henyard, and these allegations are a mountain that she's going to have to climb. And I'm going to take them one by one. Now, the first bombshell is an allegation to strike Mayor Henyard's office that came in March 2024. Now, this allegation is indicating that she misused taxpayers' money to fund a series of her own personal expenditures, and it was a very expensive expenditure. Now, this is coming from the New York Post, actually, and it seems that this mayor is having a serious spending problem, if the allegations are true. Then, the next one is coming from an allegation of tax funds being used for fancy trips. So, in March of 2024, village trustees that she is a mayor of requested a third-party investigator to look into suspicious spending around Mayor Henyard's trips. Now, they specifically requested that a look be taken into a trip that she took to Las Vegas with 2 other trustees. Now, a previous investigation into the trip found no wrongdoing, yet other trustees remained skeptical. Now, the next one is that Mayor Henyard, in response to the allegations of spending taxpayer money, the board had attempted to pass a resolution to investigate her spending. But do you know what she did? As the mayor, she vetoed the resolution, claiming she was being personally attacked by the boys club, that is the village board, who she claimed was trying to lead a smear campaign against her. Now, I get very unhappy when people do something wrong and the issue has to be addressed and they pull the gender card. I think that it's a very, very low ball thing to do. I don't know if she was actually being personally attacked like she's claiming, but if she's not being personally attacked and she pulled the gender card, I think that is very shallow and that shouldn't be encouraged at all, because if you do the crime, you have to do the time. I think it's a simple thing. And Mayor Tiffany Henyard, I'm sure, is aware of these things. But sometimes people pull this race card or gender card to try and gain sympathy and play themselves as victims. I don't think that should be entertained. Now, the next one has to do with allegations of Mayor Henyard allegedly lavishly spending on $1 million for police detail for personal security. Yeah, you heard me right. She spent $1 million on police detail for her personal security. Now, the former police chief, who was fired by Henyard, he believed she misused the funds, creating protection for herself, which took more officers off the streets patrol to fight crime. Now, it means that as mayor, Henyard spent $1 million on her personal police detail, and not just spending of the money, but also it ended up taking some police officers off the street and rather creating more risk of crime for the society she's actually supposed to help improve. If this is true, I think that this is a classic narcissistic move. It's all about her and nobody matters because she is the super mayor. No wonder some people would also classify her as the worst mayor in America. Now, the next has to do with harassment complaints being leveled against Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Former village trustee by name Valeria Stubbs, who publicly criticized Mayor Tiffany Henyard, claimed that she was retaliated against by Mayor Henyard. Now, she told a reporter that Mayor Henyard repeatedly intimidated and harassed her at her home, including sending hitmen, to attack two of her vehicles, or to attack the vehicles of two of her tenants, Now, this trustee also alleged that Henyard made allies with the police department on purpose so that they will ignore the complaints she made against the mayor. Now, if this is true, that is a classic abuse of power, where she literally has all the system under her thumb and she can oppress you with her position, intimidate you with her office, and when you go to the police are literally also under her thumb. So she owns you. Now, if this is true, I hope the feds find something to make it stick, because we don't need leaders like this in 2024 and beyond. It is a cancer that has to be eradicated. Now, the next allegation against this super mayor, or as some will call her, the worst mayor in America, is the concerning increase in community bills. Now, investigators found that the village of Dolton, where she is the mayor, owed $427,000 to a street paving company for work done in 2002. And that is like 22 years ago. On top of that, a bank threatened to repo vehicles belonging to the village, including cop cars, due to unpaid balances. A tree trimming company is also owed $400,000 for work they did in 2023. Now, other vendors are also being owed, some to the tune of $50,000. Now, on this, Mayor would admit in a board meeting that there is a $2 million deficit the village is facing. But then, she held a random $1 million Facebook giveaway in February of 2024 in honor of Black History Month. Talk about misplaced priorities. This is a shame. I think that she doesn't respect her people. That's what I think. Honestly, that's what I think. Now, the next one has to do with concerns with response to sexual assault claims. Now, Henyard's former assistant alleged she was sort of treated in a way by a trustee on Henyard's board. And when she told Henyard about it, the mayor responded that if the incident went public, she would be ruined. So that is more of a cover-up. The next one has to do with the wrongful termination of the former assistant of Mayor Henyard, when this assistant claims that he also reported certain things against a trustee, and she claimed the mayor promised she'd take care of it, but was involuntarily placed on unpaid medical leave and soon after terminated. So it seems like this mayor was just rather running a club of her own and protecting her own when they did wrong, if the allegations are true. Now, another allegation is another suspicious termination being allegedly done by this Mayor Henyard. Now, a former maintenance manager by name Dwayne Trash filed a lawsuit alleging in 2023 that he was terminated while on vacation after refusing to cooperate in a scheme where Mayor Henyard and her assistant planned to fire an attorney and replace them with a firm that the mayor preferred. Now, if this is true, I think there is enough for her to be picked up on. But it doesn't end there, because there's another case of a shady bid being leveled against her. Now, Mayor Henyard was alleged to have spearheaded a $200,000 payment in a no-bid, no-contract deal with a suburban construction company which has been linked to multiple corruption cases, featuring one where the owner allegedly tried to run a scheme to clear thousands in unpaid taxes from family-owned properties. So, how then would such an institution have the mayor spearhead a $200,000 payment in a no-bid, no-contract deal with such an institution? I don't get it. What did she do in terms of due diligence? Who did she consult with? Who signed off on it? And as it stands now, the FBI has also raided, because the mayor was served a subpoena last month in connection to an investigation into the village's permitting and licensing practices. Now, the FBI documents sought a series of financial documents, including payroll, reimbursement, travel, and expenses. Mayor Henyard, in particular, was accused of denying permits to those whose businesses she considers unfaithful to her. But then she would also end up denying those claims. So you see the picture forming. And it doesn't end there, because there's another allegation of a blackboard cancer foundation. Now, Mayor Tiffany Henyard, boasting of her plans of creating the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation in 2022, she went about boasting about this. But then it turns out that upon the other allegations that had been leveled against her on her frivolous spending, she began distancing herself from the charity, claiming she doesn't have a foundation, and even denied knowing anything about the Illinois Attorney General's office banning the organization from raising any money. And it still doesn't end there, because there's another allegation involving boyfriend support payments. Now, one of the people served a federal subpoena in the investigation into the sketchy construction project was a person called Kamal Woods. Now, Kamal Woods was identified in Henyard's divorce records as her girlfriend and was accused of earning a highly lucrative salary coming up to over $100,000 a year, in addition to working private security for local government. Abuse of power right there, if it's true. So it goes on and on and on to the point where Mayor Tiffany Henyard according to investigations, had the town billed for $17,000 for merchandise Henyard used for herself and her foundation. After a federal subpoena requested the documents related to that payment and found the invoice for the merchandise went out just one day after Henyard's foundation was submitted to the state, she would still want to dilly-dally with this. Now, it is very unfortunate. It is very, very unfortunate. And the black residents in suburban Chicago town are sick of this mayor's mess. And I agree with them, because if the accusations are true, then it's a stinking mess, honestly. Just that it turns out Mayor Tiffany Henyard is also refusing to allow an investigation into her spending, as the village's bills also keep going up and up. Now, as it stands now, what do you think are the options for this village to take with regards to the conduct of their mayor? Because she's not just messing herself up, but she's messing them up too. And the point is, if they keep quiet about it, she's going to take them into an abyss. But again, how do they fight back? How do they rebel against what she's doing legally? What actions can they take? I'm hoping that the investigators and the legal system will find a way to settle this amicably and liberate the city from whatever grips that this mayor has on them, if any. Subscribe to the channel if you are yet to do so. Turn on the post notifications. I'll catch you on the next one. Keep an eye out and stay safe out there.